I think it's hilarious that we're about to talk about ashes,
Yep.
and most of our podcast type content started being all pumped for ashes. And it's like you need like
You
one of
should
these
make
things
that mention,
2 years later. It's like us being super depressed and dejected about it.
What's
Yeah.
Tom, what's that meme? You should put that meme up, like, not expectations. It's like,
Is it the guy sitting in all different
yes,
places or something?
yes, the
Yeah.
Pablo
You have
Escobar,
to
like
send
he's
it
just
to
like
me.
he's just like waiting, like
Yeah.
we're just talking, like
Yeah.
literally. If you guys started that,
Hey guys, this is our Zone of Influence podcast, and notes sound awesome.
So
You're
Scott,
allowed
our
to-
channel early on, we actually had a decent amount of Ashes of Creation content. We even had a short run podcast
Yeah.
called The Zone of Influence that you can go still find now anywhere podcasts are found, right? And we have a playlist on YouTube where we were
Yeah.
introducing ourselves to Ashes of Creation, really. We were learning all the systems and inviting, watchers to come along with us, listeners to just see what we found out about the game. And it was an awesome podcast. And that was kind of right at the turn when Ashes was, I think it was the weather system really video that caught our attention. And that was an
Yeah.
awesome video. Awesome.
Yeah.
But my point is, it's been a long time since we did that podcast in those videos. They recently had the Caravan PvP update. I know I watched that one.
Me too.
I mean, it was pretty cool. Yeah, Scott too.
Yeah.
Catches all the Ashes content. Like, can't even wait.
Nope.
all the updates.
And it was kind of cool. It showed the PvP as the caravans being transported. Had an attacker group that was outnumbering the caravan. They came in, they wrecked shop, they took the stuff. It was cool. Like, I can this is a cool gameplay loop. I can look forward to doing this PvP stuff. But we're casual observers of Ashes of Creation, right? We're not making Ashes content every single week. And dude, I got to take my hat off to those guys, because
Seriously, they're in it
to
for
be
the
able to
long
make
haul.
content every week for that game that isn't
Shout
even
out
a
to
game
Lazy
yet.
Peon, man. He's always doing videos
Narc.
about
Neon,
Ashes.
Narc, Rive Genesis,
Narc,
one of my
yep.
favorite. I mean, there's a ton of these guys. I kind of want to take this approach since we're more on the casual follower side.
Yeah.
Like I said, we jumped in really hot when we first learned about it. We're like, dude, these systems sound amazing. Steven Streif's a real gamer. This is awesome. But then that's been a few years ago. So I don't know. As a casual viewer, what's you guys' perspective now on Ashes? What to you guys, when you hear Ashes, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it you still hyped for it, or is it something a little bit more sour, a little not quite on the hype train like you once were? I don't know. Let me know. What do you guys think?
Tom, you got me on the hype train, because Ashes mid last year started coming out with monthly updates, and I think they've been doing that pretty often.
Yeah, they
but
have. Yeah.
Getting that full download of the entirety of last year from Lazy Peon's video kind of brought me up to speed on everything, and it made me think, oh my gosh, this game, the scope, you got me hyped about it. And I was like, this is gonna be so cool.
Yeah.
And then I looked back and I'm like, this has been going on for 2 years plus 3 years. I don't know, maybe.
Well, since they really got ramped up, I mean, I think for like 6 years almost, it's been
okay. Maybe, yeah. So
since the Kickstarter, maybe
since the Kickstarter, yeah. But it's wild to me though. As much as they're putting out there, they're like basically, as far as I can tell, putting the whole story out there for everybody to see. And I think that's an interesting take. I mean, it seems like an interesting take on web development.
Open development.
Open development. Yeah, the very open development style.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I have weird feelings about it. I feel like it's like there's no mystique. There's no, like, when you get the game, you're going to know all of the intricacies of the game because they've revealed it in these monthly updates.
I can put it succinctly, man. It's like you want to have enough anticipation to where the game psychologically builds up that optimism and excitement in your brain. Whereas the so it turns out I'm not going to be succinct.
You got a lot of passion for this.
Yeah, you have the open development that shows everything in a way that the people who are following it can give back a feedback to make them tailor the game to what players want. But the trade-off is missing out on that true hype and the drip-fed trailers and stuff like, and that's a feeling that sometimes is enough to make a game catch on. If everyone is dejected and is checked out, just that's the decision they've made. I don't care how good the game is, it's generally going to be tainted in some way. It's strange. It's more of a perception phenomenon than it is the like actual game itself sometimes. But it's a double-edged sword. We've said that before. You miss out. There's pros and cons, really.
Yeah, we totally have. And we've compared it to like the Riot MMO, which we know zero about. You know, and I think everyone is still hyped out of their mind. Everyone will try it. You know what I mean? When it comes out, regardless. But to your point, Scott, the open development is not for everyone. I think at first I was really on board with it.
It's awesome.
And I'm not saying I'm not on board with it now, but I get your point of like, you know, because they're going to have an update every month. Like not every month's update can be a banger, right? It's just not. So you're going to have these ebbs, these highs and lows of this roller coaster journey of the open development. And so I don't know. I'm still okay with it, but I don't know. Is there anything? Go ahead, Chase.
It's like you almost want to put it in the back of your mind. Like the latest update, it's like you almost want to stop getting updated on this stuff just to be surprised and delighted, you know, because getting that flurry of updates from Lazy Peon, seeing all the progress that was made, seeing that final update at the end of the year with the latest one, January, with the Caravan PvP, like that was cool. And then him just kind of bite-sizing, breaking up like all of the cool things that happen. It's like, that's awesome. Like, I think that's awesome. Yeah. But at the same time, that open development factor, it does kind of, in essence, harm the wonder of like that launch title. Because, you know, old gamers united here, here. When we got a game, there was very little hype behind that game. Yes, there was magazines that talked about it. Yes, there was this. We didn't know jack about what was happening behind the scenes. And I think there's still a wonder about that. There's something true. There's something interesting about that, you know, behind closed doors, stuff that happens behind closed doors, you know, the development, the design, all of it. And then getting that final piece and going like, oh yeah, this is, I'm going to sink my teeth into this, regardless of how bad it was. You know, you would still sink your time because you paid $60 for the game or $50, you know? And I think now it's like, okay, the game's been revealed to me. It's going to be good because we've made it. We've helped the developers make it this way. So there's almost this weird, what's the term, Scotty? Like, the fans feel invested in their own, you know, obviously they paid for the game, you know, in front, but at the same time they have this like relationship with these developers that is a little bit different than what we had as our relationships to Blizzards and, you know, all those other, where they were like rock stars.
Parasocial with the developer.
Yes, there's that parasocial connection, which can be kind of tricky sometimes too.
I have a prediction about Ashes.
All right.
Because I think this whole landscape and scenario is just enigmatic. It's just, it's a nebulous thing. I think Ashes is the tip of that evolution of where it's going to peak again. I just don't think we're there yet as our hive mind as gamers in this little reset that's going on. I don't think we're there yet. To get fully on board for Ashes to blow up. My prediction is that it's going to garner a lot of effervescent fans that want to get on board and have a passion and have been here since the beginning. And that group of people will be large. I think they will have their core group. I think what will come down to its success and growth in general will be whether Steven Sharif thinks it's still worth the time and resources, because he is an individual. This isn't a corporation. So it depends on if it's good enough to keep the lights on and still is a passion that him and the fans have like this common understanding of one another, that we're going to keep buying into this as long as you keep providing. It just depends on if that's worth it to him in the end, because I don't think it's going to net him anything like these Blizzard games are getting. It's going to be a small, populated, dedicated fan base that plays it.
Well, like you said, Scott, I have said this before too in a video. I am almost more excited to see what comes after Ashes.
Yes.
Because Ashes is bringing so many almost new but remastered ideas, if you want to put it that way, and blending a lot of really good MMO concepts together. And they're a brand new company. Like there are going to be some growing pains, you know.
Sure.
I know they have a lot of industry vets who have come on board, but Steven Shreve has never made a video game before, let alone an MMO. So there's just going to be some bumps in the road. And we know MMOs get better over time, right? The more time they have to learn from mistakes to refine their systems.
Yeah.
And I even think sequels are even really important because you get to take all the things from the previous iteration and you know what works, what doesn't work, and you can really refine things
and generate hype leading up.
100%. That, which is why I'm such an advocate of Guild Wars 3, but that's beside the point.
I get excited about Guild Wars 3, honestly.
Man.
But that's why WoW is so good over 20 years. It's just starting to get even better again, you know, with the World Soul Saga announcement and all that. But it's such a, like you said, an enigma, because MMOs are also some of the most risky games to make.
Risky, costly.
So, do you iterate and go again, or do you say, let's just keep our cash cow going? We know it's consistent, it's making money, so let's not take that risk to make something truly great. I'm still rooting for Ashes. I am rooting for this round of Unreal Engine 5 MMOs to see, hey, what do they bring to the table? You know, I think it's an exciting time. And like you said, maybe it's early in that time and we need to see what comes after. But either way, someone's got to do it. Steven's got a lot of great ideas. Ashes sounds good on paper. Let's see what they can do and if it delivers.